Hi guys, welcome to another interesting tutorial. My name is OJ and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to be using 3 different styles to make one dress. So guys, watch this video to the end and see how I'm going to put all these ideas together. Please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are seeing this video for the first time, like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Enjoy! So guys, here is my pattern paper that I'm going to be drafting on, and we are going to be starting with the front pattern. So as usual, the first thing I'm going to do is to be coming down for my guideline here. So this is an off shoulder, but we are going to still follow the process of drafting a basic body pattern, right? So the first thing I'm going to do as to drafting your basic body pattern is to mark your neck width. So the standard neck width is 3 inches. That's what I'm going to make use of. Then I'll mark the shoulder divided by 2, which is 7.5 inches. So this 7.5 inches, from this, I'm going to be coming down for my slope of 1 inch, and the chest is 8 inches. So that's from the guideline now, from the shoulder to the chest is 8 inches. So the bust point is 9.5. So the under bust, I will make use of 12.75. Then to the half length going to be 15 inches, right? Then I added 1 inch to this. So the 1 inch is half inch to join it to the damper, then half inch I'm going to cut out to smooth it. I'll make this to a straight line. This is our chest line. This is our bust line. This is our under bust line. And this is our waistline. Hope that is clear. Then this is our seam allowance. So now I'm going to be coming down for my where I want the off shoulder to stop, right? So you can determine how low you want it. If you want your cleavage to open, so you can come down lower. But for me, I don't want it to be too open, neither too so that it doesn't go up too much and or too open, right? So I'm going to make use of 5.5 inches. Then I will go up half inch to turn it with my lining at the upper part, to turn the upper part with my lining, right? So the the off shoulder is going to be low with 5.5 inches. Hope that is clear. So you can work with yours. This actually depend on the bust, the circumference of the body. The person is very busty. If you come down too low this way, it will really open her chest, and that would be not nice, except the person wants it that way, right? So when I want to cut it, this is the line I'm going to follow. So this is the half inch to turn it with my lining. Then we are just going to determine our armhole curve here. So I will just indicate the armhole curve here, right? So for my slope, I will indicate my slope here. Then I'll be coming in half inch to get my armhole curve this way. Then connect it to the chest. So this is what we have. I'll be marking for my dart. So the nipple to nipple divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'll mark it here. Then I will connect this from my bust to the length, right? So this is it. Then I will be marking my dart intake. So I'm going to make use of 1.5 inches. So I will share it into 2 for both sides, which is 0.75 on both sides. So we indicate that here as well. So I'll be connecting it straight from the under bust straight down this way. So that's it. Then at the bust line here, I'm going to be coming down half inch. Then I'll use my curve with half inch to the under bust this way. I'll do the same thing to this other side as well. So this is it. Then I'll be coming to the slope here. I'll be marking the midpoint of my slope, which is here. Then I'll connect it to the dart apex. So remember we came down half inch to connect this our dart, right? So I'm also going to go up half inch. Then wherever this meets here, I'm going to mark 1 inch. Then I'll be marking half inch on both sides. So the dart intake at the front here is going to be 1 inch. So just to tighten the bust area to have it firm. All right, so that's what we do this. So now I'm going to connect this to the half inch. You can see the way I've connected. I'll connect this side as well. So now you don't want this area to be sharp, so you smooth it. That's it. Then you connect this up. Connect this up. So now to mark for the horizontal measurement, I'll start from here. So you know this is off shoulder, so you don't want to mark exactly your shoulder on the off shoulder, right? So you have to on the chest area, because you want it to be firm, right? So you determine the neck with the width of your chest here, right? So for as a guide, what I will do is that my shoulder divided by 2 that I have here, I'm going to remove 1.5 inches away from that. You can do with that for any size, it usually work. So if I remove 1.5 inches away from 7.5 inches, I'll left with 6 inches. So I'll come here and mark the 6 inches here. So what I'm going to use for the wideness of my chest is going to be 6 inches. Or you can measure the person from one brass strap to the other to determine this, right? So that's what you use to determine this. So now these 6 inches that I have here now, remember we are going to remove 1 inch away from here because of the dart that we have. So I will input that dart. I will add it back. So that total of 7 inches. So that means that we are connecting a new armhole here. So and that's what we are going to make use of, right? So I'll connect it straight this way. So this is what we are using. So this is no longer needed, right? This is no longer needed. So now at this chest area here, I'm going to be marking my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 8.5. I'll indicate it here. Then my size seam allowance of 1.5 inches, I'll also indicate it here. So that's what we have here. Then I'll come to the waist. I'll be marking the waist circumference divided by 4, which is 6.5 inches. I'll mark it here. The dart intake here is 1.5. We'll replace it here. Then plus 1.5 inches for sizing. We'll also replace it here. So we block. Then at this bust area here, I'm going to be marking side darts or my bust darts. And this bust dart, whatever thing I remove from here is going to be the difference between the length of the front and the length of the back. If you do this, you have your bust area firm. You don't have all those excess at the bust area. Hope that is clear. So that's the essence of doing this, right? So from this bust area, I'm going to be coming down 1 inch. I'll connect it to the dart first. So this is it. So this 1 inch, remember the length here from the shoulder to from our guideline to the length of this up the front part for the upper part, we make use of 16 inches including the seam allowance, right? When I want to do for the back, I'm going to make use of 15 inches, that's including the seam allowance. Hope that is clear. So the difference is just going to be 1 inch. So this is all you need for your pattern. So we'll cut this out. So this is our pattern here. So this is what we have. So I'm going to add half inch here, add half inch here to join these two panels together when cutting it on my fabric, right? So we've already add all the size seam allowance or every part here. We've add for the upper part too. Then we've also add to the side seam, right? So and we've also considered the down part. So it's just these two to join these two together, right? So this is for the front. So let's cut for the back. I'll be using this for the back, right? I'll indicate our guideline here. Then I'll also come in for the zip seam allowance. So I'll remove 1.5 inches from my zip here. Then I'll do my center back shaping for the zip so that the zip will relax. So this 1.5 inches, I'm going to be marking the midpoint of it. Then I'll be removing it this way. So this is it. So this what I've done here, I'm going to replace it with half inch at the end here, right? So remember I remove 0.75, then I'll replace it with half inch. Sometimes you can just not replace it, it will still meet up, but I will just replace it here. So now we came down 5.5 inches. So you measure the 5.5 inches and you mark it here this way, and you go up half inch. That's for the off shoulder, right? You come down 5.5 inches the same way we do for the front, so that they meet at the armhole area here. And we went up half inch to turn it with our lining, right? Then we make our armhole curve here. So we just connect it this way to the chest. Our chest line is 8 inches. Came down 8 inches for the chest, and the bust is 9.5 inches, the same way we do for the front. Then the half length, the length of this for the back is going to be 15 inches. As I've mentioned, this is 15 inches, including the seam allowance, right? So this edge here is our waistline now, right? So now I'm going to be marking my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 6.5 inches from this zip seam allowance. I'll mark it here. I will be making use of half 1 inch for that intake. I also indicate it here. Then the side seam allowance of 1.5 inches, we'll mark it here this way. Remember, I said I'm going to replace half inch from what I've removed from here, so that I don't have shortage. So I'll also indicate it here. Then I'll come to the chest. My bust circumference divided by 4, which is 8.5 inches, we'll mark it here, plus 1.5 inches for side seam, we'll indicate it here. Then we'll block this way. So because it's having a slant this way, I'm going to turn my ruler this way, then I'll block. So I'll be marking the nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is 3.5. So because for the back I've already removed 0.75 here. When I want to take my zip, this is where I'm going to take my 1.5 inches from. So I'm going to make use of 4 inches. Then I'll be marking half inch on both sides for the 1 inch that intake that we've replaced here. So I'll connect this straight up. So this is what we have, right? So this is all you need for the back panel. So we'll cut this out. So I'm just going to add half inch here, add half inch here to join these two panels together. So these are the upper part panel, right? So I'm going to be cutting, I'm going to also be drafting the down part panel, so that I will show you how you can now have that slant effect, right, on your dress. So let's proceed to the down part panel. So guys, I'll be using this for the down part of the skirt, right? So this is my paper. I fold it into two. So this is what we have. I've folded it into two, so you can get a piece of paper this way, fold it into two, right, to accommodate your hip plus your seam allowance. That's your size seam allowance. So the length of my skirt is going to be the full length of the gown, the full length of the down part. That's the from the skirt, the down part, the waist to join it to the upper part. So the length of the lace, the total length is going to be 34 inches, right? So we are making use of 34 inches. Now I want the lace to be longer, so I'm going to remove some inches away where the inner is going to stop. Hope that is clear. So where the inner is going to stop is going to be 26 inches. So 26 inches is where the inner is going to stop. So then to complete the total length for the lace, that means I have to add plus 8 inches. I'm going to cut on this pattern. Is what I'm going to use to cut on my doll face or my bridal satin, or whatever thing you are using to line the lace. Is what you are going to use to cut it. So I'm going to make use of 26 inches. Now I need 1 inch to hem it at the down part here. This 34 inches include my seam allowance to join it to the upper part, right? So I need 1 inch to hem it at the down part here. So that will give us 27 inches. So that's this 26 plus 1 inch equals to 27 inches. Then I also need half inch to join it to the upper part here. So that's 27 inches point 5. So the length I have here is 27 inches point 5. Hope this is clear. So this 27 inches plus 0.5. So to complete the full length, when I'm cutting it on my lace, I'm going to be adding 7 inches to this. Then by the time I use 1 inch to hem it at the down part here, that will give us 8 inches different from the lace and the satin. Hope that is clear. So this pattern I have here is the length is 27.5. So that's all you need for the measurement. Now on this upper part here, I'm going to be, this will serve as our waistline, right? And will serve as the guideline. So on this guideline here, I'm going to mark my waist circumference divided by 4, which is 6.5 inches. That will be equal with the upper part. Then I'll be adding my side seam allowance of 1.5 inches. Then I will just indicate your dart seam allowance, right? So the dart of 1 inch. Though I'm not going to sew that here, but just in case you want to add that to your own, then you can add 1 inch for your dart, right? Then I'll be measuring down waist to my hip, which is 9 inches. Please measure and make use of your measurements, right? So 9 inches, this is what we have here. So this will serve as our hip line. So from waist to the hip is 9 inches. Then on the hip line here, I'm going to be marking the hip circumference divided by 4, which is 8.5. Then the side seam allowance of 1.5 inches. So that's what we have here. Then I will come down 19 inches, and that will serve as our knee length, right? Please measure your client or measure yourself if you are sewing it for yourself. So this is 19 inches. So this will serve as our knee length. So on this knee length here, I will mark whatever I have on this hip here plus the seam allowance, the total measurement. I will measure it here. And here I have 10 inches. So here I will mark 9 inches here. So I'll connect this 9 inches straight to the hem part here. So when I want to cut for the lace, even the 7 inches will just go straight. Hope that is clear. So I'll connect this up this way. Then I'll be using my curve ruler to connect this. So I'll first connect the original line I'm following this way. Then I'll connect my dart line this way. So when I want to cut it, I'm going to cut this dart line off because I don't need that on this because of the shape we are going to do here. So I don't really need that here. So I'm going to remove this dart. But if you are sewing yours and you want to add that, you can just leave this, then remove the dart here, and it will fit into the upper part. Hope that is clear. So you can just make sure that nowhere is sharp. If anywhere is sharp, please smooth it. So this is all we need. So I'll cut this out. So I'll first cut it this way. So this is what we have. So then I will remove the dart now. Me removing the dart meaning that means I'm not going to hold that here. Hope that is clear. So this is what we have. So I'll open it up this way. So this is the front, right? This is the right side. So on this right side, you can place it on your body this way. Place it as if you are wearing it on your body. Then determine the left and right? So for me, this is the left and this is the right side, right? So this is the left, this is the right side. So on this left side here, that's where I want the effect to fall on my left, right? So I'm going to go up from the hip area. I'll go up 1.25. Then on my right side, I'm going to be coming down from my waist following this. So you can just indicate your seam allowance, right? So this is my seam allowance where, so I've removed the seam allowance here. So the points I'm marking it on the seam area. So I'm going to be coming down 1.75, which is here. Then I'll connect it with my straight ruler this way. So this is it, right? So I also indicate that on this panel as well, because we are going to cut this panel out. So this is the left side and this is the right side. So then my pattern here is showing me the crease area, but just indicate it. This is the middle, or this is the center point, because I'm going to use this panel to cut for my back. So my zip is going to be here when I'm cutting it for my back. So I'll use this to cut for my front first, then I'll cut it open, then use it to cut for my back. Hope that is clear. So you can just point it this way. It's going this way. And it's going this way. Hope that is clear. Then you can just, it's going this way. Then it's going this way. So just indicate all this on your panel so that you don't miss it out. So this is what we have now. I can now connect it straight up this way to meet the hem area, which is into my seam allowance this way. I'll do the same thing on this other side as well. I'll cut it out. So this is my panel now. So you can see what I mentioned, right? So it's going this way, it's going this way. So I will add half inch here, to connect this together, right? Then for the upper part, this is where I'm going to join it. So I don't need to add half inch here because I've already considered it with this panel. Hope that is clear. So to join it to this now. So when I want to cut this on, I'll place it this way to cut for the front, because on the front you don't need this line here. So I'll use this to cut for my front. I'll only add half inch here. Then when I want to cut for my back, I will cut this place open. Then I'll add my zip seam allowance on both sides of this to join this together. I'll add my seam allowance for my zip, right? Then for this, I'll use this as it is like this now to cut for the front. Open it up like this, cut this for the front. But when I want to cut for the back, I will cut this place open, right? Then add my zip seam allowance on this area here. So let me do that. I'll cut them on my fabric, right? So guys, this video is already too long. I'm going to show you how I'm going to join all the pieces together in my next video. Please do wait to watch that. I will see you then. Bye for now.